Happy Sunday. It is 9 a.m. Sunday morning, beautiful Phuket. It is sunny outside, 25 degrees, and my aura score was 91 this morning, so I slept good, and I'm very excited for this video. So I made a post recently which got quite a bit of good engagement. So I figured why not make a video and elaborate a little bit more on some of the journey so far, since it has been over 4 months, pushing 5 months, which is wild, which is just wild to think that that much time has already gone by. And one of the questions that, of course, get a lot from friends and family when I have these conversations is, what have you learned so far? And the answer might shock you a little bit, but actually, not a lot. I don't think Thailand itself has actually taught me a lot of lessons. But what it has given me is the space and time back to notice the things that I think my old environment was hiding. Things that I already knew, but I just became too busy to notice. So here are the 5 things that I've re-remembered since moving to Thailand and slowing down. So here it is. Number 1, peace isn't found. This was again sort of an eye opener, something that I already knew. I knew that it wasn't like a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. But I think coming here, I was searching for it. Like I was looking out for it. Like, where can I find my peace? Where's the peace hiding? But I realized that it is something that we need to very intentionally create, and I think that I did a pretty good job of that in the last couple of years back in Canada, and then I put it to go, and I brought it with me to Thailand to build off of. So in that sense, it's not something that we find. I think we've all heard that term. Peace isn't a destination, and I agree. But I also believe that environments need to be supportive of you creating that peace. So what I mean by that is, when we're so busy, when we fail to notice things that are draining us of our peace, we fail to identify the leaks. And I think that's what I was guilty of for back home. I think I was just making certain sacrifices for certain environments, people, um, where I maybe didn't in the moment know that it was leaking or draining me of my peace and my energy. But I think subconsciously we all know. I think subconsciously we all sort of know the environments, the people, um, the consumptions that rob us of our peace. But we continue anyway, thinking that it might be easily replenished. But the thing is we need to be very intent with protecting the peace that we do build. And the reason why I am able to reflect as much as I can here is because I've been giving that time back. I've given myself the time back by changing my environment because I was too busy to notice things back in Canada. It's not found. It is not a destination. It isn't something we discover. It is something that we intentionally create, and then something that we intentionally protect. Point number 2, stop living life like a race. We are all guilty of that. I think, oh, I could probably spend like an hour talking about this one. My core thought on this one is, somewhere along the way, I stopped asking why. It's like the easiest way that I could put it. I stopped asking why. I just started to do things because I just had to do it. I had to go to school. I had to finish school. I had to find a job, look at post secondary. Am I going to post secondary? I'm getting a job. I'm getting a good job. Now I'm chasing growth. I'm chasing promotions. I'm chasing a different position. Now, a house. I got to get a condo. I got to buy a home. I got to buy a house. I got to create a home. Now I got to look at settling down, getting into a relationship. I got to look at getting married. What's the possibility of having kids? What is the, it's just like man, like just even talking about it right now, just like it's exhausting me. Don't get me started on talking about retirement. We start preparing for our retirement. I remember like having lessons in school. Like, was that a thing? I feel like it was a thing. It's sad. It's the harsh reality is billions of dollars in pension funds go unused because people don't make it. And that's really sad. I especially thought about it in the last, since a tragedy in our family, and we lost a loved one at a very young age, and suddenly it just got me out of this funk of a race of life that I was living in. Just trying to always prepare for the next thing, because as soon as you start to do that, you remove yourself from the present environment, and now you're not here today. You're constantly, when you're living life like a race, you're constantly like 100 meters out, 100 meter. You're constantly looking so far ahead, trying to get there. Right? You're in your race car. You're trying to get to that next point. Like, how are you looking at what's beside you? Like, how do you notice, that beautiful whatever it is to the left or to the right? You're not. Right? It's impossible when you're living life that way. So I think this one is one of those things where we have to be very aware. We have to be very aware. And like my days here in Thailand feel so long. Like it's so awesome. When I have conversations with people back home and I refer to something that had happened, I'm like, yeah, yesterday, I did this. I'm hold on, wait a second. No, that was today. That was today. Because everything I do just feels so long because I don't do it like it's an emergency, right? Regulating nervous systems 101 is not do everything like it's an emergency, not having to do your laundry, fold your clothes like an emergency, not having to wash the dishes. I use that one all the time because growing up I always saw my mom and sisters washing dishes. I'm like, why are they washing so fast? Like, is there a timer on the water? Like, is the water just gonna stop? Like, I didn't understand, but every time I looked over them, they're just like washing the freaking dishes like it's like an emergency. And then they're chill. And then after the dishes are done, they're chill. They're just like, oh yeah, wipe their hands. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't understand that. I groomed myself before Thailand on Vancouver Island, because the best way that I described living on Vancouver Island was, imagine going 30 in a 50 like all the time, 50 kilometer an hour speed limit, and you're just going 30. You're chilling. Someone comes behind you. You're in your right lane. You're chill. Go in the left lane there, bud. Go ahead and pass me. I'm good. I'm chilling in my right lane, going 30 in the 50. That gave me a lot of anxiety in the first year that I moved to the island. A ton of anxiety until I learned to slow down, until I learned to speak slower. That was one of my biggest faults early in my life. What do I mean early in my life? Most of my life, up until the last maybe 5 years. I used to talk so fast. People constantly used to ask me to repeat myself or to slow down. And I thought communication meant to get ideas out and get it out. Well, communicate, there's a lot to communication. There's a lot to speaking. Elaboration, speaking clear, making sure that messaging lands because you're speaking with intent. I had to learn things. So I use that sort of now towards everything that I do, is really kind of looking at everything and intently making sure that I'm understanding everything. And that island, that 1 to 2 years on the island, was a huge struggle coming from the mainland, but it groomed me perfectly for Thailand, because there's no way I could have gone just from the mainland Vancouver, not going to Vancouver Island, and then coming to Thailand. I'd freeze. Like, I'd just freeze. I don't even know what to do. I try to look at it as checkpoints rather than finish lines, because there's only one ultimate finish line in our life. And I don't know about you, but I'm in no rush to get to that finish line. Zero, nada. I do not want to get to that finish line. I want to prolong that finish line for as long as possible. So look at it as checkpoints, and not because you had to arrive there at a certain time, but because you arrived there when you were meant to arrive there. That's it. Every day you get into bed, that's your checkpoint. And it's not like you had to rush to get to bed at a certain time. You arrived to bed when you were meant to arrive there, because you're not chasing it, right? You're experiencing it. And once you get to that checkpoint, you're good, you made it, you're set, reset, and then you'll start again. So yeah, this one I'm pretty passionate about. I spent a lot more time on this one than the first point, but I do want to make sure that I did elaborate as best as I could, at least from my experience. And bear in mind as well, this is all from my experience, right? This it's going to be very different for everybody. Yeah, don't get to that finish line anytime soon, please. Okay, thanks. Point number 3: health becomes a priority either by choice or consequence. This one's a pretty simple one. It's from the Dalai Lama. It was a thought that he said around how we spend the first half of our life sacrificing our health to make money. And then in the back half of our life, we sacrifice money to try to get our health back. I think I said that right. Someone fact check me. Um, that is so true, man. The amount of sacrifice that I made for my health to try to achieve whatever it is that I was trying to achieve, be it money, be it career, be it promotions, be it relationships. That's a big one. Life will eventually force us to choose health if we don't willingly choose it first. That's it. It's so sneaky. It's so sneaky. And there'll be times where we're doing okay. We feel like we're doing okay. We haven't necessarily made health a priority, and then something sneaks up on us, and we were caught slacking. And this one's a tough one. This one's a very sensitive one, even for me as I talk about this, because my family is so big. We've got such a massive family that I'm constantly hearing these horror stories, and some even very close to me, where someone was doing really well. I'll give an example. Exercise, right? Exercise and nutrition. I always say exercise, nutrition, sleep, right? Those three are your markers for protecting yourself for whatever comes your way from a health um, decline. So let's talk about exercise. Is sarcopenia, right? The deterioration of muscle is going to happen to everybody. So it's about prolonging it as much as you can, because muscle is a very protective tissue. It's going to help combat a lot of the issues that we face in life that come with age. So exercise is one of those things where, like, my parents, they're both in their 70s, they both go to the gym. They both go there. And I'm not talking like, hey, let's go to the gym and walk on the treadmill for an hour. No, they do weights. They're doing dumbbells, light dumbbells. I don't care. It's proximity to maximum reps. It's not about the weight. Let's get to maximum reps before, maybe leave a one or two in the tank. But that's what you're looking for when it comes to building muscle. I want to keep it simple. I'm not. This is not a workout exercise video. This is just simply talking about things that I at least have experienced in my life. Yes, sleep is. Oh my god. Maybe I should talk about sleep too. When something is should be a priority, when the deprivation of it is used as torture. They use sleep deprivation as a torture method because it makes people hysterical and, like, for lack of better words, like crazy. Which is not a word that I like, but it literally makes you crazy. And I'll give you another perfect example. Yesterday, I actually attempted to make this video yesterday, and I spent about 45 minutes of filming. And then by the end of it, I just got so frustrated. I selected it all and I deleted it. I was like, I'm done. I'm not feeling it. It's because I was sleep deprived. My aura score yesterday was like 69. I was not feeling it. I woke up even knowing, like, I knew subconsciously that I wasn't 100%, but I'm gonna try to make it anyways. And I was very disappointed with the product that I put out. because going into it, I knew that I wasn't as recovered and rested as I need to be. And today I woke up, I was on point, I was rested, I feel good. Hence why I'm doing this video, and it's so much more fluid. I can feel as I'm having this conversation with you compared to when it was yesterday. Yesterday I was constantly taking, retaking, taking, retaking. Sleep is a huge one. Nutrition, I won't dive deep into about, but I think we all know what nutrition can do. I think the biggest three, and there might be other ones, not might be, there will be other ones that you can invest in, but those three are the biggest investments that will always pay off: exercise, nutrition, sleep. Either we choose it willingly, making health a priority, or life will choose it for us. Number 4, stop looking for the better option. This one is really about contentment, not settling, contentment. Two very different things. There's always going to be a nicer car. There's always going to be a nicer home or a house. There's always going to be a different relationship. There's always going to be another opportunity, a different job, another country. The search really never ends. They say if the path that you're on is clear, you're on somebody else's path, right? You got to clear your own path, and you can't measure your progress and your success using somebody else's ruler. All right, that doesn't. Comparison is truly the thief of joy. It took me a while to understand that, because years ago I used to compare myself to people a lot, and we do it subconsciously. It's hard to, right? Like, it's hard not to compare ourselves to other people, but that comparison does rob us, like absolutely rob us of what it is that we already have. The practice of gratitude, I mean, everywhere you look, you'll see it. It's so easy to read and to see, but to actually practice it is tough. To practice gratitude, but just like a muscle, how do you do it? You train it. You train it regularly. You train it consistently. So the practice of gratitude, it could be as simple as something as waking up and being grateful for three things: your eyes, your feet on the ground, and your animals, your pets. Like, I really dumbed it down and made it simple for myself to practice it like I would train a muscle. I was being robbed. Like, I was being robbed of what it is that I already have, because I couldn't show appreciation for it when I was constantly trying to search for the better thing. Yeah, it's exhausting. Like, it's exhausting when you're constantly trying to measure yourself against other people and other situations. Is there a better option? I think working towards something is healthy. I think working towards something better is healthy. But believing that your happiness depends on getting it, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. We So many people looking at what you already have. I'll tell you, you me, every single individual on this planet, someone is looking at what you have and wishes that they have it. They wish that they had that car. They wish that they had that job. They wish that they had that job, regardless of what that job is. Okay, maybe not my job, because I don't have one right now. So no, you don't want my job. Relationship, right? Um, I'll give you an example. I watched a snap yesterday, and one of my friends has an amazing content setup that he made up, and I replied to him with setup goals, or content setup goals. Like, I'm like, oh man, like, I want that, right? I'm working towards it, but it's not gonna change my happiness. Am I gonna be a little bit more productive? Probably. Is it going to make life a little simpler and easier to put out content? Sure. But I'm still gonna be happy. I'm still very content with my setup right now. My setup right now is literally this tripod that I'm looking at and an iPad. And I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm groovy. Right? My happiness is not dependent on that setup. Right? But yes, working towards something, I think, is very healthy. Working towards something better is very healthy. Chasing it, no. And that's not healthy. So don't always look for the better option. You're probably already living it. And the last point, number 5, is sometimes the most productive thing that we can do is nothing at all. I love this one. I actually made a post on it a little while ago, and it's one of those things where I think every single person on the planet can do better with this one, because we associate rest with laziness. Rather than laziness, it's actually investing in tomorrow's performance. That's the way that I see it now. That's why I see it now. I struggled with it and I still struggle with it. When we're sitting down, not doing anything, we're thinking that, wow, I should be producing something. I want to be productive, and there needs to be something that comes out of this time, where we don't actually realize it's going to be 10 times better if we give ourselves that rest and that recovery in terms of anything, mentally, physically, um, and what'll be outputted tomorrow. And a great example, again, was going back to what I first said about the product of putting out content on this video, right? I was disappointed with the product that I had put out yesterday, so I didn't put it out. But I'm way more rested today. I gave myself the grace that I needed yesterday. I sat down on that couch. I relaxed. I did a little bit of gaming. I did a little bit of reading. I did actually nothing at all for about 15 minutes, which is very hard to just like close your eyes and actually give your system a full non-stimulated break. And what I mean by that is you're not just sitting on your phone and calling it rest and trying to, frame it like it is or disguise it, right, as rest. um, Even reading, like, I love reading. I think reading is an amazing outlet to just decompress, but you're still, even whether it's even very minor, you're stimulated. I'm putting out a challenge to everybody: sit there for 10 minutes, don't do anything. Don't scroll, don't read, don't watch TV, stop disguising it as rest. Like, actually sit, breathe, close your eyes, let your mind catch up. I challenge you. I think what I'm actually talking about is meditation. So, those were the 5 reminders that I've relearned and remembered since moving to Thailand. These are just reflections that I've had in the last 4 to 5 months that have shaped my journey so far. I'm so grateful that I have this time to reflect this way. We really don't need to move across the world. Could I have relearned this back home? Absolutely. Would have taken longer and maybe not been as effective? Probably. Because when we're comfortable and our current environment just becomes so familiar, it's hard for us to notice these things, and it's hard for us to realize what it's doing to us. And this new environment for me isn't going to magically change me, but it is going to give me enough contrast to reveal what my old one was hiding. Like, maybe our new environment are, and as it should be, super simple things like early morning walks, reading at a park, um, time where you're not consuming and you're not on your phone. Like, that's a big one. I think that's something that we're all very guilty of. Although I will say that my social media consumption has gone down by half, which is crazy. Half, since coming out here and just being more intentional to when I grab my phone, and like, why am I grabbing it right now? Do I have to grab it right now? No, like, just really asking some of those questions that I didn't ask back home. Back home, it was like, it wasn't even a thought, right? It was like a knee jerk reaction, like, not doing anything right now, grab your phone. We're so terrified of boredom, like, we're so terrified of just not doing anything, that it's just like, yeah, this is gonna okay. It's just, it's it's too easy. It's too easy to overconsume, and it costs us way too much, right? Thank you for coming on this journey with me. This has given me that time back to just hear my thoughts again, just to be able to hear things that were buried in my mind that I knew were there, but I just didn't have the time to notice. And then to be able to share it, because, like I said in my other video, I have watched so many things in the past where it's resonated with me and really sort of inspired me to go a certain direction that I don't know if maybe I would have explored if I didn't hear it articulated the way that it was to me. So I'm hoping this maybe does somewhat of the same to someone, even if it does one person, totally worth it. And if it doesn't, that's okay too, because it's just stimulation for me, mental stimulation, which I talked about, that I love. That I had a ton of fun making this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. And until next time, as always, peace.